Hi, this is Carol Ford, and you're listening to Flipside, the true story of Bob Crane. After decades of research, publication of our book Bob Crane, The Definitive Biography, and our ongoing efforts to share Bob Crane's true story, Linda Groundwater, Dee Young, and I have earned the designation as being Bob Crane's official biographers, and we are endorsed by many members of his family and the Bob Crane estate. We haven't had a chance to produce episodes often with busy work schedules and life events, but I promise we will continue to produce episodes as often as we can. This episode kicks off a special series showcasing Bob Crane's work in radio. In September 1956, Bob Crane took over the mic at KNX-CBS Radio in Hollywood, California, after spending 6 successful years in radio on the East Coast. First at WLEA in Hornell, New York, then WBIS in Bristol, Connecticut, followed by WLIZ and WICC in Bridgeport, Connecticut. Bob took the West Coast by storm with his innovative broadcasting style and technique. KNX hailed him as having the wildest, funniest morning program in radio and the only radio personality to host leading film and television stars for live, unrehearsed interviews daily. He became known as the king of the LA airwaves and radio's man of 1,000 voices. His KNX colleagues considered him a true radio genius. Despite his success as an actor on Hogan's Heroes, Bob never really left radio. In the late 1960s, he volunteered for the U.S. Armed Forces Radio Network. In the 1970s, Bob filled in at KMPC in Los Angeles. And in 1976, he returned to WICC and went on the air to help the station celebrate its 50th anniversary. On Saturday, May 30th, 1964, Bob hosted a 4-hour 8th anniversary special of his KNX radio program. For this special broadcast, he aired clips from many of the interviews he had conducted over the years at KNX. Part 1 of his 8th anniversary special is presented here, and celebrity guests in this segment include Jack Lemmon, George Jessel, Gypsy Rose Lee, Soupy Sales, Bob Hope, Dick Van Dyke, and during which Bob plays a clip of his interview with Fred Astaire, Joe Louis, and Terry Thomas. Also included in this segment are commercials for General Motors, Budweiser, Buick, National Airlines, Plymouth, and Delta Airlines, among others. This was Bob's final Saturday KNX broadcast. At the time, he was also working as a semi-regular on The Donna Reed Show, and by the end of 1964, he would be cast as Colonel Robert Hogan on Hogan's Heroes. His last KNX broadcast aired on August 16, 1965. As we continue to petition for Bob Crane's posthumous induction into the Radio Hall of Fame, we will showcase some of his radio work here. We will also delve more deeply into his radio career in future episodes, sharing how he developed his show and why he is worthy of the honor of being inducted into the Radio Hall of Fame. So we now ask you to sit back, relax, and enjoy. This is Flipside, the true story of Bob Crane.
Good morning. It's Saturday morning. This is Bob Crane, and we'll be here until, what time? 5 minutes before 12.
Oh, hello there, Mama.
Good morning, Ted. Ted Rhodes is our fine engineer today, and this is our 9th year on KNX, going into our 9th year on KNX. And in sort of a celebration of that, plus the fact it's our final Saturday show, we're going to be repeating some of the things that have happened on our show during the past 8 years. For instance, the guest lineup this morning, just a partial guest lineup: Jack Lemmon, Dick Van Dyke, Bob Hope, Soupy Sales, Gypsy Rose Lee, Georgie Jessel, Joe Louis, and Terry Thomas, and that's only the first portion of the show. Later on today, Betty Davis, and we got a list a mile long. For instance, I'll never forget the day we had Jack Lemmon on for the first time, and I said, you probably never heard this show before, and to get up at what time do you normally get up in the morning?
I beg your pardon? I get up about, well, it depends. When I'm working, I have to get up about 7. When I'm not working, I get up about 8:30 or 9, around in there.
You ever heard our show before?
Funny.
You.
I am. I really am.
Then you're right.
I would never show up, my boy, unless I knew the quality of the program.
Oh, really?
Nobody knows you nut.
George, put down that paper. I want to talk to you.
Oh, okay. What is it, dear?
Somebody's car is parked in our driveway. How am I ever going to get out of the garage to go shopping? George, you've got to do something.
I did. I parked it there. Look again.
Why, George, that's the same kind of car we were looking at the other day.
It's the same car. I drove it home this noon.
So quick? You said you had to take care of the financing, the insurance, and all of that. How in the world?
Lady, you have a very smart husband.
But how did you know what to do?
Very simple, Millie. When the dealer uses the GMAC time payment plan, he can finance the car insurance, and even creditor life insurance. He works out terms to fit your budget, too. The cost is reasonable. And everything's taken care of right where you buy your car.
That's all there is to it?
Oh, one more thing. You have to see a General Motors dealer who uses GMAC.
See the General Motors dealer who uses GMAC.
That's right.
You know something, George?
What, dear?
You're not so smart.
No.
I could have done it myself.
Don't you just know it?
I just don't want to sound like a prude.
I know, lady, I know.
You're going to get kicked out of here.
Hey, we've only begun to fight for this Saturday morning, believe me. It's 13 minutes after 8 on the KNX clock. There are no signalers, no traffic bulletins. Thinking back over the last 8 years, we've had thousands, and I'm not saying this to brag, but there have been literally thousands of interviews we've done. And to try to pare it down to 4 hours wasn't an easy job. So if we miss anybody along the way or anything that you might possibly remember that has happened, we apologize for it. I'll never forget the day Georgie Jessel came on the show. He was talking about 2 books that were out at the time. In fact, they're still out. And he wanted to read a poem from one of them. One of the books was The Story of His Life, which was, well, it was sort of the Peyton Place of its day. And the other book was How to Make a Speech, because Georgie Jessel is the Toastmaster of the United States. And he started to read a poem from one of the books on how to make a speech, and I was going to help him. Along. Okay, George?
You can use this poem particularly at any time where a group of friends meet. It fits any occasion because friendship fits any occasion.
All right, now this is the friendship poem. I'm going to give you a little bit of musical background here, George. Go ahead, George.
Against that music, you might...
No, that was just...
I wouldn't even do Gunga Din against that music.
That was... You want to put on the earphones so you get the feeling of it? You do it without earphones.
I don't like earphones. I don't like anything synthetic like this.
Okay, all right. Well, then we
In fact, I don't like the radio or the television business. In fact, I miss terribly the Phony Express.
Really? Georgie Jessel has a poem that we are going to get to, but I just happen to think I was misled.
In what respect?
Well, I'm interviewing you about one of your books here. You got off on this, Can You Make a Speech? I'm talking about your life here.
Oh, this is a book called So Help Me, which is also in a paperback now for the first time at 50 cents. This was a bestseller some years ago in a hardcover at a larger price.
How many years ago, George?
1943 this was written.
George is going to open his copy now. We're going to read it.
And I don't need any gallop of Custer's last fight behind reading it either.
George, why is you put a monocle in your eye just now? And I must tell him, to be honest, this is about the only honest thing about this program. He just put a monocle in his eye. Do you use that for a reason?
Well, I use it because sometimes I have trouble reading with this right eye.
Well, why don't you wear glasses?
I find that in the public speaking, that in the middle of a joke or even something, that glasses kind of take away. And I'd much rather have people say, isn't he eccentric, than the poor bum is going blind on the theater set.
All right, George. Getting back to your book. 1943 was when you wrote this letter that is in the preface of the book. Was it 1928 that you met Loopy Velez?
Yes, that was the year.
Well, now I figured out your age from this thing because I figured in 20...
Why don't you put that music on again?
This is what kept me up all night. I'm trying to figure out his age because the book...
People are not going to buy these books dependent upon age. I mean, this is the thing. An author doesn't come out, please buy my book. I was born in 1106. The content of the book.
True, George, but I just wanted for my own information.
Well, when you want it later on, I'll give you an affidavit. There's no need of... this may kill a whole date for me this evening with you and your age. I'm using this flowery language so that when I recite this poem, which I have sincere interest in, and I don't want any battleground music behind it.
George, I'll sit here, both hands up in the air.
No, but you have other people who do it. I don't care where you put your hand. All right, anytime you're ready.
All right, look. Now, anybody look, this will be a funny picture. Somebody look in here, see the engineer and myself with both our hands up. And Georgie's sitting there reciting a poem.
I'd like everybody in the studio to have their hands up.
Everybody put their hands up, please. You know,
all right. Leonard, pick everybody's pocket.
This is all stuff.
Now, I found seriously that this poem really does fit any occasion, and it's a wonderful way to get off with if you make a bad speech.
Right.
If somebody has told the gags before you or said the same serious thing, you can get off with this. You want to hear it?
Yes, George.
It's in the last chapter of You Two Can Make a Speech. Paperback book at 50 cents.
Yeah, all right.
And it goes like this.
Yes.
Make new friends, but keep the old. Those are silver, these are gold. And new-made friendships, like new wine, age must mellow and refine. But friendships that have stood the test of time and change are surely best. Brows may wrinkle, hair grow gray, old friendship never knows decay. So, cherish friendship in your breast. New is good, but old is best. Make new friends, but keep the old. Those are silver, these are gold. Now, if I find out later that people were listening and Lohengrin was playing behind that, I'll tell everybody your right name, which is Max Front, and you're a Romanian horse thief.
No, George.
How do you vote?
Pick a pair.
Pick a pair. That's the ticket. Vote for Budweiser twice. Take home 2 six-packs of Bud.
Pick a pair of Bud.
In 64, it comes to 6 packs. In 64, Bud is the king of beer. Come join the family party.
That Bud? That's beer. The platform is pleasure. Take home 2 Budweiser six-packs. The smart way to buy Bud. Here's a candidate that promises taste and smooth and drinkability. Pick a pair. That's the ticket. Cast your vote for Budweiser twice.
Vote twice for Bud.
In 64, take home 2 6-packs. You'll have more. It's the greatest beer from Maine to California.
That Bud? That's beer.
Pick a pair. Pick a pair.
That Bud? That's beer.
All right. It's 19 minutes after 8 on the KNX clock. This is KNX Curious Radio in Los Angeles, 1070 on your AM dial, 93.1 on your FM dial. And this is Bob Crane celebrating our 8th anniversary here with KNX. We're on Monday through Saturday, or we have been up until today. Today's our final Saturday broadcast. From now on, we'll just be on Monday through Friday. And by the way, we'll still be doing the interviews during the week on the 9:15 portion of the show. And as for Georgie Jessel, what else can I say, George, except that you've been on the show so many times during the past 8 years, and if there's anybody that knows about emceeing, it's you. How to Make a Speech is one of the books, and if I just may add one thing, George, I know that having emceed quite a few affairs myself, I am known as the Georgie Jessel of the San Fernando Valley, there's a thing that amateur MCs always do, and they shouldn't. When they're introducing the principal speaker, they try to be funny. Now, if you're funny, that's good, but if you're normally not a funny guy, don't you find that to be true?
Not only that, and they generally say, I know it's silly for me to tell a joke in front of a fellow like Crane, and then they tell it and tell it badly, and it was silly. Here's an important point about public speaking for a Toastmaster, or commonly called MC.
Yeah.
And they all make the same mistake, those who don't know it, because it isn't their business to know it, not listening to what the fellow has said before you. You may have the same note, you may have the same phrasing. That's another mistake.
Oh, you know another thing I find, too?
What?
Not listening to the fellow before you, because you may make the same note or same mistake, things like that.
Seems to me I just heard that.
Oh, I guess I wasn't paying
I guess
attention.
it's a little early for me.
That's probably it, George. Yeah. Mr. Georgie Jessel. You know, when you think about some of the people we've had on the show, to go from Georgie Jessel to Gypsy Rose Lee, I suppose is the most obvious thing. One of the greatest of the so-called exotic dancers, the originator of it, and as Gypsy Rose says, she was in vaudeville. She wasn't necessarily a stripper to begin with, and she was here in town a few years ago with her home movies that she was showing at a theater here in town.
I see, you have something else here. It says here that you have a Kaleidoscope's nudist camp report at 6:30. And then you have a burlesque album over there and me on your microphone. Gee, it's a wonder the cops don't come in.
Well, as I said earlier this morning when we first came in, I said, look, let's face facts. Any station that can have a report on a nudist camp one night and the very next day have Gypsy Rose Lee on can't be all bad.
Oh, that's exactly the way I feel about it, but I'd love to know more about this report.
We have a program at night called Kaleidoscope, and they probe in depth behind the news. For instance, the smog. They one night will investigate the smog for half an hour.
We were talking about the nudist camp and that strip teaser, remember, who did her number with tweezers?
Somehow they felt the nudist camps should be investigated. So they went out with a tape machine.
Well, he wasn't really nude if he was wearing his earphones, was he?
He wasn't wearing earphones. No, he was wearing a tape machine. And,
well, in some circumstances, that's enough.
Yes. Well, it's true. Now, what happened is he went to the nudist camp, and everybody, this is the report last night, everybody was in the nude.
You know what Earl Wilson did? Oh, he fooled them. He wore a guitar. He was going to wear a ukulele, but he got so fat, you know.
Yes, well, that's true. Now, the thing is, everybody was, the report last night said everybody was in the nude.
Yes, it's terrible for me because I play a harmonica.
Well, anyway, they were in the nude, and
if I'd worn 3 harmonicas, it would have been all right.
So everybody's in the nude, and he goes in with this little tape machine and a big microphone. Oh. A big microphone. And anyway...
Worn low, I hope.
No, anyway, he says to the people, I noticed that all of you are nude except one guy. This guy's nude, but he's got a beard all the way down to his feet. How come? And the girl said, that's because he goes for coffee.
Oh, you're joking. You're as bad as Jack Paul.
Title. Look at that. Back to Gypsy Rose Lee again.
There goes Riviera. There goes adventure. There goes adventure in a car. The car is Riviera. Adventure in the car called Riviera.
Adventure begins at your Buick dealers, the place to see and drive this great new international classic car. See the 64 Riviera at your Buick dealers this week.
Adventure in the car called Riviera.
That's it, Buick Riviera for 1964. See you at your Buick dealers of Southern California today. And Gypsy Rose Lee, it's too bad you can't stay in town for a little bit longer with your home.
Well, I might have a week here. My sister will be in town in a few days. She's just returned from a trip around the world.
Yeah.
I haven't had a chance to see her yet.
Yeah, that was for the State Department, wasn't
Yes,
it? She was doing the
and
tour.
she'll be here. I hope she'll be here for the opening. If not, she'll be here within the next few days. So I hope to have a week with her out at Malibu.
Here's an idea. Maybe the State Department could cement relations with the Russians by sending you over here.
Oh, I know, dear. I wanted them to. Sort of as a cultural exchange, you know.
Sure. What did they send us back?
A couple of broad jumpers.
We'll be talking to Soupy Sales in just a minute. Lena Horne and Great Day at 27 minutes after 8 on the KNX clock.
Do you get tired? I do. Droopy?
All the time.
Feeling low?
Yeah.
Well, if you do,
Yeah.
what you need is a glass of cool, refreshing, delicious tasting milk.
What?
Milk picks you up and keeps you up.
Yeah.
Milk gives you the lift that lasts.
I suppose, yes.
The next time you feel down the drain, don't drink something that will only jangle your nerves, or those sweet drinks that only pick you up for a moment. Drink milk, the real refresher. Milk gives you the lift that lasts.
In your life.
Can you hurry about this?
Lift in your life with milk.
I want to hurry to the refrigerator to get my milk. By the way, this commercial is suggested by the American Cow Association, or Dairy Council Association, I'm sorry. The cows aren't unionized yet, are they? That's why they've been having such a rough time. The bulls are, though. Say, listen to what National Airlines has done for Los Angelinos. National has increased its nonstop jet service to Houston. National offers morning, noon, and evening jets, the most nonstop jets to Houston. Just nothing like relaxing on a National Airlines flight to New Orleans. They have 3 no-change-of-plane jets daily, including the only nonstop. You hear the pilot come on the intercom.
That's
right, and only national, best jet to Florida, an exciting land, gateway to the equally exciting Caribbean island. Is this any way to run an airline? More Los Angelinos think so every day. Be sure to jet national. In many of the things, and repeating some of the things that have happened over the past 8 years, I hate to call them the best that has happened because, for one thing, somebody says, who says they're best? We did, but, you know, what does that prove? We've had Soupy Sales on the show many, many times.
Good morning, Bob Craig.
How are you today?
Fine, and you? I just saw a terrible thing.
What happened?
My bank balance. Yuck.
Remember the last time Soupy was on, when last we met? Soupy Sales was our guest, and everybody said afterwards, he's such a silly guy. That is not the real Soupy. Right? But what is the real Soupy like? Now, come on, be honest with us. We've been seeing you cutting up, but I understand that you're a real serious guy.
That's right. It's the love of a mother. You know, after all, what is home without a mother? It's a good place to bring girls.
Forget it.
Get out.
Forget it.
I don't want to.
You see, you're learning the real Soupy Sales. He's not a silly, joke-cracking guy.
Zany.
You're right. I'm pulling
like
you.
That. My mother wanted me to go to Yale. My father wanted me to go to Harvard. The two also wanted me to go to grammar school. I'm killing me.
We never like to ask embarrassing questions on this program. We like to make you feel at home.
That's right.
Relax.
I've never seen a home in a condition this is.
No, I like to relax.
What's it?
Feel, how long you been a communist? No, I want you to feel. Come on, now tell us truthfully. Let me join the party.
Okay, folks.
No,
that takes care of me in L.A.
You're watching the end of a career. No, there's a question I did want to ask, and it could be just as bitter and controversial. Do you know, I spent all last week taping a TV show?
No, but if you hum a few bars, I'll try and fake it.
The following announcement is sponsored by the Rockefeller for President Committee.
Governor, would my Social Security benefits be affected by Senator Goldwater's proposal to put Social Security on a voluntary basis?
Well, I disagree with Senator Goldwater completely on this question. I was Undersecretary of Health, Education, Welfare under President Eisenhower, and the department runs the Social Security system. We studied it carefully. If you put Social Security on a voluntary basis, it would bankrupt the system. It would undermine and take away your hope for that security when you retire, and therefore I think that it's time that this country face realistically the fact that Social Security cannot be made voluntary, that it must be preserved as it is, strengthened, and the benefits improved as rising costs of living go up.
Republicans, vote June 2nd for the responsible delegation and the responsible Republican candidate, Governor Nelson A. Rockefeller.
The preceding was a paid political announcement. 29 minutes before 9 on the KNX clock, the time 29 before 9. And Soupy Sales, we do want to thank you for coming in. One thing before you leave, we do want to mention there's nothing funny about calling somebody a communist. We just did it to be the kid, you know.
That's right. There's nothing to make fun of. I mean, that's you admitted your faults, and I think it's wonderful. Anybody who has faults that will admit it. I know if I had any, I'd be the first, Bob.
Yeah.
Hey, I want to thank you very much for having me on your show.
You're too much, Soupy.
It's always a pleasure, Bob. You're the greatest. You're the funniest, and I just break up, and I hope you'll have me back.
Oh, enough talk about me. Let's talk about you. What do you think of me? Soupy Sales. We're going to be talking to Bob Hope, Dick Van Dyke, and Joe Lewis and Terry Thomas are going to battle here in our studio in just a couple of minutes. Right now, we're pausing for a little bit of news. It's 28 minutes before 9 on the KNX clock. This is KNX Curious Radio in Los Angeles, 1070 on your AM dial, 93.1 on your FM dial. And this is Bob Crane, celebrating our 8th anniversary here at KNX.
Yes, Bob, some late news from the KNX newsroom, mostly political, as might be expected. Only 3 days left until California voters go to the polls to decide between Senator Goldwater and Governor Rockefeller, and between Pierre Salinger and Alan Cranston. Goldwater is campaigning in Southern California today. Rockefeller's gone home to New York for the weekend, returns Monday to resume his campaign with a one-day plane tour to start in Northern California and end up in the southern end of the state. Goldwater will campaign through the weekend and to Election Eve. Pierre Salinger and Alan Cranston met in debate on TV last night. The broadcast, aired statewide, produced not much in the way of new issues or charges, but a sometimes fierce restatement of existing differences. Basically, the debate centered on which man was the captive of which wing of the Democratic Party. At one point, Salinger said he anticipated Assembly Speaker Jess Unruh would make public his support of him before Election Day. Cranston responded, "I'm glad he's making that support public, finally." After the debate, both men told us they would let the public decide Tuesday which man made the best impression. Republican senatorial hopeful George Murphy slammed the Cranston-Salinger debate as, quote, a disappointing, tongue-in-cheek discussion of fantasies and finances. A political oratory between Cranston and Salinger confirms, he said, my charges that both candidates have totally avoided frank and thorough discussion of the critical issues of 1964. This from GOP candidate George Murphy. The Los Angeles Times reports this morning that former Vice President Nixon is meeting in New York today with a group of advisors to make his own plans for the days ahead. What happens between Rockefeller and Goldwater obviously will have an effect on Nixon's own possible role at the July GOP convention in San Francisco. Governor Brown has asked Californians to strive for freedom, justice, and equality for all Americans in his Memorial Day message. He said America's war heroes died for those goals, and he urged the state's citizens to reverently rededicate themselves to the great truths and to the great ideals for which these men fought. That's the news. Now back to Bob Gray.
Thank you very much, Jim. I've got a terrible memory, Jim, and people say it's because I just don't pay attention. My wife, just the other day, what's her name? Ann said that to me. I said, the way you're talking. 25 and a half minutes before 9 on the KNX clock. Weatherman says mostly sunny for Los Angeles today and tomorrow. Some late night and early morning low clouds, slightly warmer today. A high around 79 predicted. They say out by the beach today, it should be somewhat, it's going to be a nice day. Eventually the sun will be out, of course, and the temperatures will be about the same as they were yesterday. Did the man from the LA Times come in yet?
There he comes. He's coming through the rear door there.
Hurry up, will you?
You're holding things up.
Yeah, for goodness sake. All right, go ahead, let's hear it.
This weekend in the Los Angeles Sunday Times, the start of one of the most extraordinary documentary accounts of recent years, the story of the ill-fated 1961 invasion of Cuba. In The Bay of Pigs, author Haynes Johnson reveals untold details of American participation in the operation, draws a dramatic and definitive account of the disastrous landing. For the most meaningful study of the Cuban disaster to date, be sure to read The Bay of Pigs, starting exclusively this weekend in the Los Angeles Sunday Times.
That's Arthur Godfrey's Discovery, Dennis Rigor, and from his Toys in the Attic album, A Bit of More. And it's 24 minutes before 9 on the KNX clock, 24 before 9. Because so many people are calling, asking when we're going to repeat different segments of the show. Later on this morning, we're going to be talking to Julie Stein, Charlton Heston, Meredith Wilson and his lovely wife, Rainey, Shelley Berman, the late Marilyn Monroe, Alexander King, Jane Mansfield, and Arthur O'Connell. That's on the 9 o'clock portion of the show. At 10 o'clock this morning, we'll be talking to Olivia de Havilland, Phyllis Diller, Andre Previn, Gig Young, Barbara Streisand, Stephanie Powers, Gene Krupa, Danny Kaye, Dick Chamberlain, Bronislav Kaper, Eddie Cantor, Dr. Norman Vincent Peale, and George Hamilton. Then at 11:10 this morning, our final portion will have Rudolph Frimmel, Keenan Wynn, Maury Amsterdam, Betty Davis, Otto Preminger, and Steve Allen, Jane Meadows, Allen, and Bill Dana. So that's our guest lineup for today, if you care to hang around until 5 minutes and 12. Talking with Bob Hope, which we have over the past 8 years, 2 or 3 different times, we, of course, always end up talking about Bing Crosby.
Well, I met Bing. I was in the Boy Scouts one day, and I helped this old lady across the street, and it turned out to be Crosby. No, Bing and I played together in 1932 at the Capitol when I was a struggling young master of ceremonies. And Bing was on one of his farewell tours. And he was retiring. He was on for Cremo cigars. And we just got together and enjoyed it so much that we, kind of... coincidentally, I was signed by Paramount in 1937. I came out here, and Bing was he owned the place by then because he came out here by stagecoach with Lewis and Clark, I think. And he was the father of our country even then. And he was on the $3 bills with pictures. But that's why, well, then we started doing, somebody got the idea to put us in the road pictures together, and it's been that way. What was the first road picture you did? Singapore. And the last one was the Hong Kong. This is the one that you just did in England. Yeah, we just did all of that. We have one joke in in Hong Kong I think we may all get arrested about because Peter Sellers is an Indian doctor. And Bing takes me to the doctor because I've lost my memory. And he's a wild Indian doctor, and he has a snake in a basket. Now, you know how insane this is. And the snake comes up, and Bing and I back away. He says, don't worry, he won't bite you. I said, but what if he does? He said, well, then you just take your Bowie knife and cut the wound, suck it out, and spit it out. I said, well, what if he bites me someplace I can't reach? He says, then you find out who your friends are. Well, you know, at the sneak preview, they laughed right through the next two scenes, and I said, you got to take that joke out. But so far, nobody's taken it out. And, you know, we could be in trouble. Oh, dear.
Comedian Bob Hope. 21 minutes before 9 on the KNX clock, 21 before 9. We're going to be talking to Dick Van Dyke in just a moment. Command Hairdressing is giving away 70 Mustangs. Mustangs? Yeah, I better explain what they're doing. Actually, what they want you to do is try the Command for your hair because it contains lanolin and it keeps your hair looking neat and natural without looking greased down, you know. It liquefies and blends right in. Comb it and then forget it. But if we just asked you to go out and get some Command today, you might not. And so to prepare, again, right there, I mean, they might not take you.
Certainly.
Sure.
Besides,
yeah.
100 years from now, what the heck difference will it make?
Well, don't say that. That's not the attitude it takes. But the thing is, when you go in to find the place that has Command, of course, look for the instructions there on how to enter the Command sweepstakes. This is not a contest. It's better than that. We're giving away 70 Ford Mustangs. And all you have to do is just find out about Command today and enter the sweepstakes. And you can win one of these red convertible Mustangs. So when the top goes down, your hair is going to go up. You're going to need the Command. That's why that way. You'll call Command the best hairdressing you've ever found. No Command man has ever finished last, in case you're interested to know. On this Saturday morning, and it looks like the beginning of a fairly nice Saturday, mostly sunny today, high temperature up around 79 degrees here in Los Angeles. This is Bob Crane with some of our guests over the past 8 years, and Dick Van Dyke, who just recently won all those awards in the Emmy show, of course. First started in radio, which a lot of people don't realize. Where was that, Dick, that you started in radio?
Danville, Illinois.
Yeah.
There was a CBS station there.
And what sort of a radio show did you do?
I played records.
Did you do kidding around?
No. I wasn't too good at that, Bob.
You did? Would you just
I played records and read commercials and did the news every hour, and that was it. You know, 250 watts, I was the only guy there. There was nobody else in the whole station.
You have long stretches where you're just all by yourself, really?
Yeah. And it was in a hotel downstairs, and right across the hall was the bar and grill of the hotel. And drunks were always wandering into the newsroom, you know, as I was taking things off the ticket tape. Where's the men's room? On the air, you know.
They would do this while you were on the air?
Oh, yeah. Isn't that funny?
Don't try. I mean, don't feel bad. But you have had a succession of
failures. Right. Yes, I have a long list of failures.
Well, how did Carl Reiner ever take the chance on putting you in a series?
I don't know. I really don't know.
There must be another way of saying that. The truth of the matter is I can say this because Dick is a success now. It would be a terrible thing if he weren't, you know, and then to say, how did you ever end up in a show? But Carl Reiner had done your show originally as a pilot, right?
That's right, and played it in himself. Played my part. It was a little bit different show, but it was, you know, basically the same thing.
Yeah.
And I don't know why that didn't sell, the kind of performer Carl is.
You also did Bye Bye Birdie on Broadway.
Yes, that's right.
How did that come about? How did you get into a Broadway show?
I just went in there and auditioned. And I went in and sang and danced. I did Once in Love with Amy and did a little soft shoe. And I got the job.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, one of the few things that happens in this town when they get around to doing the movie of Bye Bye Birdie, they hired you to do that, too.
Yeah, I understand they tested everybody else in town first, though.
No, I don't know.
They did with Robert Preston, a music man. Just because he did it well on Broadway didn't convince them.
Yeah.
So they tried everybody else out and finally came back to Preston. But I went in and screen tested for Bye Bye Birdie.
They made you screen test?
Yeah, I did Once in Love with Amy, a little
Oh, dear. 17 minutes before 9. We'll get back to Dick Van Dyke in just a moment. 17 before 9.
Roll out the boogie. We'll have a barrel of fun. Pour out the boogie. Birdie's the premium one.
Light.
Cool.
Refreshing.
Beer after beer after beer.
Everybody loves to party when the Birdie's here.
Burgermeister, the perfect balance of lightness and flavor. Crisp, clean flavor with a lasting lightness that lets you enjoy beer after beer after beer. Birdie's Balanced Right. So roll out the Bergie at your house.
Everybody loves a party when the Bergie's here.
Burgermeister. It's balanced right. Premium Light Burgermeister of San Francisco.
You know, I have a surprise for you. But Fred Astaire was on our show, and he was asked to evaluate the new young dancers. And Dick Van Dyke, when he got around to naming the new young dancers, are you excited to know? Dick is so nervous. He can't wait. Listen.
I like a boy named George Chakiris or whatever. I like his work. He's made a success in West Side Story, and I saw him, he was doing chorus work and so forth a few years back, and I thought then that he was extremely good. I like the way he moves. He probably specializes more in the acting, and he didn't do any particular solo work in West Side Story.
What about Dick Van Dyke?
But I like the way he goes.
What about
I like his action. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What about Dick Van Dyke?
I think Dick Van Dyke is a good performer too. I like to watch Dick. He's an all-round man. He's a song and dance man too, and he's a good comedian. He has his own style. He's an attractive-looking fella, and he moves very well, I think. And incidentally, it's a very nice boy too. I think he's fine.
He's fine. Right. Now, what do you think?
I am speechless. I am absolutely... I never cared for George Chakiris.
Talk about a switch. Dick Van Dyke, of course. Over KNX Curious Radio in Los Angeles, 1070 on your AM dial, 93.1 on your FM dial. This is Bob Crane on this Saturday morning as we begin our 9th year here on KNX and reliving some of the moments of the past 8 years. We're going to be talking with Joe Louis and comedian Terry Thomas in just a minute. And if you don't think that's an odd combination, well, you find out what happened. This is Dick Van Dyke's theme, is played by Nelson Riddle in the band.
Look out, or it'll get you. Look out, or it'll get you. Look out, or it will get you. The Plymouth Barracuda. Now it's gonna get you. Barracuda will get you if you don't watch out.
Plymouth Barracuda's good looks will get you. Barracuda's a racy new fastback, like so many expensive sports cars.
Look out, or it'll get you.
Plymouth Barracuda's new features will get you. Bucket seats in front, room for 5 passengers, V8 power, and a very unusual cargo space.
Look out, or it'll get you.
And the low price will get you. So for good looks, features, and low price, see the Barracuda at Plymouth Land.
The Plymouth Barracuda, Plymouth Barracuda, Plymouth Barracuda now.
That's it. Plymouth Barracuda, and the place for you to see the Barracuda, the spectacular new fastback car from Plymouth, is at your Southern California Plymouth dealer. I think you'll find this car is going to make you awful happy.
I know that you're happy
And
that
it'll
I'm
make
happy
us
that you're
happy,
happy, and
yes,
I'm sure
we'll all
our
be
listeners are happy that
Yes.
you're happy that I'm happy, and I'm also sure that you're
Yes.
happy that they're happy that I'm happy that you're happy, and we're both happy that they're happy, and if they're happy, then they're happy.
Hey, honey, would you mind? We've got to get to Joe Louis and Terry Thomas in a minute. Memorial Day cookout starts with Ralph's sensational steaks, and the barbecue set is wise to the fact that the sure way to success is always to start with guaranteed tender, flavorful, quality-controlled Ralph's Golden Premium Steaks. Like all Ralph's meats, these steaks are USDA choice, no other grade. Right now, Ralph's T-bones, top rounds, clubs, and sirloin tips are just 89 cents a pound. Center cut round steaks, 65 cents a pound. And to barbecue them, easy light charcoal briquettes, 49 cents for the big 10-pound bag. Tempting barbecue aromas, by the way, tender Franks, hot dog, they're just 39 cents a pound in Ralph's Delicatessen. Another summer favorite, Dubuque canned ham, $3.49 for a 5-pound can. And everybody likes Circus mixed nuts with peanuts, just 69 cents for the 13-ounce can. You save more and more ways at Ralph's, the friendliest stores in town. They give blue chip stamps besides. Comedian Terry Thomas from England, who can be seen presently in Mad Bat World, and of course Joe Louis, the world's heavyweight champion, one of the greatest fighters of all time. Now, Joe, you didn't fight too many English fighters, did you?
No, Thomas fought only box for the championship.
Recall my memory now, or give me something to go on here. How did the Tommy fight turn out?
Oh, I won the fight. Two judges get me 13 rounds apiece, and one judge get Tommy Fat 13 rounds.
You're kidding.
No, so...
Where did you fight him?
Oh, New York at the Yankee Stadium.
And 2 judges gave you 13 rounds and 2 gave him 13?
That's right.
Well, now, this is ridiculous. How could the 4 guys see this fight so different?
I don't know. I don't know how they could see it
Well,
different.
probably 2 are English and 2 are American.
Nice. That's one thing. The Barry Thomas there. No. So how did the fight turn out then? You won?
I won the fight. I won called. I got 2-1. Split decision, but my 2 judges get me 13 rounds.
Did you feel that you'd won?
Oh, I thought I won the fight easy.
Yeah. I saw it, by the way, not in the flesh, but I've seen it several times.
Oh, I won the fight very easy.
Is heavyweight boxing as big a thing in England, Terry, as it is in this country of yours?
What do you mean, weight-wise?
No, I mean, do they follow it as much over there?
Right now, better. England now, in Europe, I should say, draw bigger gates for each ring of fight than in America right now.
Well, some of it locally, more.
Why? Terry, you're going to get it. Now, our in-person guest this morning, we've got 2 of them, quite obviously. Terry Thomas, who is a bit British.
Would you say so?
Yes, I would.
I would say disgustingly English if you want to be
disgusting.
If you want me to be honest about it. I'm trying to cure it, but I can't.
You're not a professional Englishman, are you?
No, I'm not. My goodness gracious me, I detest professional English. I think it's a horrible thing to do.
What is a professional Englishman?
Well, a professional Englishman makes quite certain that he's not going to say schedule, as I think you say it. Do you say schedule?
No, we say schedule.
Do you? No. Well, that's really put the cat amongst my pigeons. But you know what a professional is.
Yeah.
A man who's disgustingly English the whole time, but he wears it.
Yeah,
a sort of flaming banner.
I didn't want to bring it up, Terry, but you say you're not a professional Englishman. But why did you come in with the bowler and the umbrella?
Did you notice that?
When I went in England, I saw some I think Al Burnett, at that time back in 40 would consider that England
Did you say Al Burnett?
Yeah.
Oh, look, let's keep the party clean.
Well, back in 1948, I met him back in 1948, and at that time I thought probably that he would consider England the top comedian.
Are you joking?
In 1948?
Are you joking? Al Burnett? Oh, please, do me a favor. I mean, this man, we're talking about...
Hey, Joe, hit him, Joe.
Talking about... Now, here's a man who comes over here to America, pinches all his gags, and goes back and tells him in
well, no,
you mean he stole this material?
Well, I don't know. The word stole, lift, shall we say.
All right, he lifted some.
Or half-inch, as we say in London. That's rhyming slang for pinch.
I see. He pinched the material.
Yeah,
but I don't...
I thought he quite funny.
No, look, the point is that you must have gone to his club.
No, I went to see him.
And you weren't in training, obviously, when you heard him.
No, he was working at he headlined the Palladium show.
He did not. He's never done it in his life.
He did.
Now, look,
1948.
Oh, no, wait a minute. Look, Joe, you thought the guy was funny. Terry, you didn't necessarily think the guy was funny. You don't have to be funny. Terry. Terry, come now, please. No, this is Ted, the 2 guests. We've had 2 guests before, but they've never fought.
How charmingly put.
Hello, I'm Victor Jory. Not long ago, I was talking with a friend of mine about airlines.
Yes,
What is this difference on Delta Airlines?
Yes.
My friend wanted to know.
Yes.
Well, it's a personal angle they've always had, I said.
Yes.
What do you mean, he asked. So I told him about how Delta folks will always take time to help you save time. How everyone in the entire organization seems dedicated to making your trip a pleasant experience. No travel problem is too much for them. Reminds me of that picture, Going My Way. Well, Delta is always flying my way. The way I like to fly. Okay, Victor, my friend said you've sold me. Today I called Delta. I saw him again about a month later. Say, he said, I'm a full-fledged dues-paying member of your fan club now. Oh, I said, have you seen my new picture? No, he answered, I mean your Delta fan club. It's terrific.
You tell him, Victor. You tell him. Delta has 5 jets daily, including non-stops to Dallas. The only jets to Birmingham, 1-stop jets to Orlando, Florida. Be sure to call Delta Airlines. Joe Lewis and comedian Terry Thomas, and of course Bob Hope and Dick Van Dyke and Soupy Sales and Gypsy Rose Lee and Georgie Jessel. This is Bob Crane. We'll continue on with our anniversary show in just about 15 minutes. One of the guests will be the late Marilyn Monroe. We hope you'll be with us in just 15. Until then, goodbye.
Flipside, The True Story of Bob Crane, is owned and produced by Carol M. Ford Productions. All rights reserved. No portion of this podcast may be used without written permission. Bob Crane's 8th anniversary KNX special was provided to Bob Crane's official biographers, Carol Ford, Linda Groundwater, and Dee Young, by a former KNX employee who worked with Bob at the station, and it is used here with the permission of Scott Crane. For archived episodes of this podcast and to learn more about Bob Crane, visit voteforbobcrane.org. That's vote, the number 4, bobcrane.org. You can also subscribe to this podcast everywhere podcasts are found.